In this presentation, we want to talk about the best practices as it relates to the early childhood curriculum. Curriculum in early childhood is often misunderstood because it is so complex and includes many components. This presentation will help to explain what an early childhood curriculum is. Now, the administrator's role related to curriculum is to choose a curriculum that has the greatest benefit for the children in their program and to put into place a system for implementing that curriculum. According to Breed and Copel, research clearly demonstrates that children learn more in programs where there is a well-planned and implemented curriculum. Thus, it is essential for every early childhood setting, be it a school, a center, or a family child care home, to have a high-quality curriculum in written form and for teachers and care providers to use it to guide their planning and implementation of learning experiences. Curriculum is defined as, according to this, by the NAEYC position statement, it says that curriculum is more than a collection of enjoyable activities. Curriculum is a complex idea containing multiple components such as goals, content, and pedagogy or instructional practices. Simply stated, curriculum is what you want children to learn and what you plan to teach. Curriculum should be based on what is known about child development and learning for various developmental stages. Developmentally appropriate practice, or DAP, means teaching children where they are developmentally as individuals and as a group, and helping each child reach challenging but achievable goals. Your curriculum guides you in determining these achievable goals, what knowledge, skills, and attitudes you want children to learn and develop. It is recommended that a good curriculum be a written document that is used in planning experiences for children. So some of the factors that influence curriculum include society's values, content standards such as the early learning standards, which each state has early learning standards. For Wisconsin, we have the Wisconsin Model Early Learning Standards. And then accountability systems like Youngstar in Wisconsin, I think it's Qualistar in New York, and other states have quality rating systems as well. Then research findings, community expectations, culture and language, individual children's characteristics and skills. Those are all things that influence curriculum. Choosing a curriculum is more than purchasing a set of books at an early childhood conference or downloading suggestions for daily activities from the internet. There are several factors that impact your decision about what is the right curriculum. Just as there are many models of early childhood education and care, there are many variations in models of curricula. For example, a Montessori program will implement a curriculum that carries out the goals of the Montessori philosophy. If your mission is to provide learning experiences in a play-based setting, then you will look for a curriculum that focuses on play-based learning activities. If your mission includes an appreciation and understanding of nature, then your curriculum will involve children in activities related to the outdoor and the natural world. One curriculum model may not meet all the goals of your program's mission, and therefore you may decide to use a combination of curriculum approaches such as a blend of Montessori methods and a focus on nature. So, the first element of a curriculum is assessment. And assessment is to determine children's developmental levels at any given area, or I should say in any given area, and used as a starting point to guide instruction. For example, program planning, choice of materials, as well as developmental goals. Then the scope and sequence defines the developmental domains or content areas such as social-emotional, motor, language or literacy, etc., and the learner goals. Goals are generally presented in a sequence, usually developmental from simple to difficult or least mature to more mature. So when we talk about activities and teaching strategies, these include daily routines and schedule, the arrangement of the environment, children's experiences and interactions, such as what teachers do and say to support the children's learning. Then we also have to monitor their progress. Progress monitoring, sometimes referred to as ongoing assessment, is a systematic process of collecting information about a child's learning over time to measure progress toward identified learning outcomes. Now, looking at this question addresses your approach to observing and documenting the growth and development of the children in your programs. There are formal as well as informal ways to observe and document children's progress. So this is something to think about. What strategies do you use to gather information about the child's or the children's development? I'm going to go back and read that. What strategies do you use to gather information about how the children's development is progressing? That is one of the questions you will be answering for this assignment. So, lesson plans. Lesson planning is the process of determining on a day-to-day basis what activities and experiences will be provided for the children in the learning environment. That environment includes indoor as well as outdoor activities and more than teacher-directed activities. Lesson plans may also target individual child goals as well as group goals. So some people choose themes. So the things to consider when choosing a theme is to make sure that the topic is relevant to the child or the children and also related to experiences that they have had. If you are talking to city children, it might be hard to go as in depth about farm life if they've never experienced it or don't know anything about it. Not to say that you can't touch on it, but it wouldn't be as relevant to their experience. And then also the topic should be based on the interest expressed by the children, and it should be related to what is happening in the larger community. The topic should consider the materials and resources that are readily available, and it should also allow for integration of skill building and addressing the developmental needs of the children. Then we also need to make sure that we evaluate our curriculum effectiveness. The curriculum motivates children to be actively involved, or motivate children to be actively involved on their own initiative. Children learn through imagination, creation, and investigation, and focused intentional teaching. The curriculum builds on what the child already knows and is relevant to their experiences in life. So the children should be active and engaged, and they should be able to investigate, play, and focus with intentional teaching. And it should build on the children's prior learning. And it should include all areas of development, and it should be validated by professional standards, and it should also be research-based. Curriculum is comprehensive. It should include all of the critical areas of development. Professional standards such as the Early Learning Standards or NAEYC or Head Start standards validate the curriculum's subject matter or content. And research-based curriculum is more beneficial because there is proven evidence that children who have used the curriculum have had more positive outcomes.